I was born in South Florida on October 20th, 1998. I lived in a small town called Parkland and grew up on a street with only about 20 houses on it. I went to a preschool called Discovery Preschool, and outside there was a fountain that these kids would pour soap into and make it overflow. The classrooms there were named after childhood characters, and it was really cute and made me feel welcomed. At school, I met my best friend named Riley. We had a lot in common, and to this day, I still consider her one of my best friends. We lived a few streets down from each other, but we still saw each other pretty much every single day. I was probably the biggest tomboy that you would ever meet. I played guy sports and did all these guy things. One day, I came home to find out my family and I were moving from Florida all the way to Tennessee. I was only 9 years old, but it was a really big shock to me. When I got to the new house, I was surprised because we lived on a really big hill, and everywhere in Florida it was just flat. A few days later, I started my first day of 3rd grade at a brand new school. I was only in 3rd grade, so I don't remember a lot, but I do remember that my teacher was obsessed with flamingos. And then came 4th grade. That summer, I cut off my hair really short to my shoulders, and I still dressed like a guy, and I did not like that phase. And then there was 5th grade. My classroom was in the middle school because the intermediate school was too crowded, so I'd have to walk there and back every single class. There was this girl in my class who would always cuss people out in Spanish, and she thought she was so funny, but nobody knew what she was even saying. And then I had a friend who started bullying me and beating me down and made me feel really small. All of her and her friends would talk about me and laugh about me behind my back, and pretty much I just felt alone. And then came 6th grade, middle school, probably the worst years of my life. Our school had these things called pods where about 100 people were grouped together in these specific colors. I had maroon pod. I was really nervous going in because everyone was bigger than me. I kind of just considered myself as a loner because I had no friends. Then one day my mom got a phone call from Riley's mom saying that they moved to Georgia. I hadn't spoken to Riley in a long time, so I had no idea. My mom bursted in my room one day and she shouted at me and said, "Let's go see Riley." I was really confused and I had no idea what she was talking about, but I just went along with it. So me and my mom drove all the way down to Georgia for about 3 hours to see her. When I got there, we were really excited and it felt like nothing had even changed between us. But then after a few days, I had to drive back all the way to Tennessee and we were really sad. And then I started 7th grade. This year was okay and I don't remember a lot about it, but I do know that I was in Green Pod. It was a really hard school year for me, grade-wise, and I was in a history class, a science class, a math class, and a reading class. When I got my report card that year, I was freaking out because I knew it wasn't going to be good. All I had on it was A's and C's. When I brought it home to my parents, they were kind of mad at me because I thought I could do better, but after I explained how hard it was, they finally understood. Then came 8th grade, probably the best year at a middle school for me. The school changed everything up and everyone was really confused. The 8th graders were required to run around the school for their classes because they were preparing them for high school. This was a year where I got into Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and that stuff. I met this girl on Instagram named Willow, and she had 7 W's and I thought it was really funny. But anyway, we talked on the phone 24/7. I found out her cousins, who didn't really like me that much, went to my school, but that didn't really matter to me. Over spring break 2013, we finally met each other in person, and it was really fun. Then I started thinking because something just didn't feel right, and then in May 2013, I said that I had a dream, but I didn't really, I just needed to get a conversation going. I told her that the dream I had was that me and her kissed, but it actually didn't happen. And then finally the truth came out and she said she likes me and I told her that I liked her too. And then my heart started pounding, especially on May 21st, because that was the day I asked Willow to be my girlfriend. And then we became girlfriend and girlfriend. And then May 25th, we saw each other again and we had our first kiss, and it was the best thing that ever happened. Then finally, it was summertime. Willow and her mom drove all the way from Nashville to Knoxville, and it was about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. We spent the whole week together. Well, actually, we pretty much spent every single week of the summer together. At this point, my life was going really good, and I was so happy. And then towards the end of the summer, I finally came out and I told people that Willow and I were dating, and it wasn't really that big of a shock to anyone. Then I started high school, and I was so nervous because I didn't know if anyone was going to say anything to me or treat me differently. But it all went good, so thumbs up to high school. So, here I am now. Life, yeah, it was good and bad. But now I actually know who I am. I'm 15 years old in Tennessee with a girlfriend. I'm Kristina, and this was my life.